So for our project, we decided to focus on censorship around the world. I'm Anthony Moran.
I'm Kenneth Hill.
And I'm Michael White.
And for our project guide, we're going to go over different factors that cover censorship in different places around the world. So for the first one, we're going to cover what is censorship, and then we're going to discuss how does it impact media systems internationally. And then we each did our own different countries to focus on how censorship specifically impacts them. And they follow Thailand, South Korea, and finally Mexico. And then we're going to finish it up with a discussion on some of our insights and things that we found that are similar between all of these three places. Then we're going to summarize in our conclusion, follow that up with our reference pages that shows all of our articles and all the insights we got from different papers on the web. So, what is censorship? Censorship is a suppression, control, restriction of speech, public communication, or other information that is considered objectionable, harmful, sensitive, or inconvenient by governments, media outlets, private institutions, or other controlling bodies. And this has been going on since the beginning of time, and it continues to impact global media systems around the world as we speak. And as we can see from different countries, it impacts others more than the other. And we're going to focus on how it impacts our three specific countries.
So, censorship's impact on media systems. Censorship can confuse the masses and negatively influence public opinions. Sometimes people may not have all of the correct information because the government doesn't allow them access to that. So, they won't be able to form their own perspectives and opinions on certain issues. It may be used as a tool to silence the reporters and truth from the world. Governments may not want people, the media and reporters, to cover certain touchy subjects, so they'll just censor them so they can't voice their opinions. People can be censored in a variety of ways, such as harassment, imprisonment, or assassination attempts. This can come from different, like for media members or for regular citizens if they decide to speak out on issues. So for our first country, we're gonna be taking a look at Thailand. Thailand has a few laws in place to stifle people's thoughts and opinions and censor them. So the first one is called the Les Majis law. It's a law in place that makes sure that anything that the royal family, anything critical of the royal family, the government, or the military, can't be said online. And it's a way to make sure that people can't say anything bad about those that are currently in power. The Computer Crimes Act is a similar law in place that they have in Thailand as well. This causes media members to self censor what they say. Self censorship is the act of removing anything that could be critical of a certain group that would get you in trouble, such as prison or any of the other consequences we mentioned earlier. The government owns and controls a lot of the media, which allows it to be easier for the Thai government to censor its people and make sure that they can't say anything controversial or that they deem controversial. And the outcome of censorship in Thailand can be like a mixed bag because some people still want to protest or voice their opinions, but they don't know how to do it in a way that won't get them punished or muted.
And looking at South Korea, it's pretty interesting to see how it's not like its neighbor North Korea, but it does have similar issues on censorship. And it does have a broad landscape of newspapers and broadcasters, as it has 47 broadcasters and 220 daily newspapers. There is news and information available to the public, but it is diluted as well due to censorship issues and people that do not want information to get out that can make the government look bad or other things going on in that type of environment. And this image right here is of the President Yoon Suk Yeol, and under his regime, a lot of journalists are believing that it's harder to do their job because there's a lot more things that can lead them to not get their research to the people. And some things that are an example of this are accusations of defamation can lead up to 7 years in prison, and that's a hefty sentence for possible truth that you're leaking to the press. And according to a 2021 Korean Press Foundation survey, they found that 60% of journalists viewed advertisers as a threat to press freedom as well. So on top of the government, they also have advertisers as well that are um, confusing the public and changing the narrative to whatever they think fits. And in another Korean Press Foundation survey, they found that 30% said that they were victims of harassment in relation to their profession. And this can come at a variety of different angles. It could come from like death notes, or it can come online. And since it's a digital age, there's loads of harassment and different types of groups and people and individuals that'll try to make reporters feel unsafe in their home. And this is a growing issue as it dropped from 47th place as the press freedom score to now 62. So hopefully things can change for the better in the future.
So now, as we move on to Mexico, Mexico is one of the most dangerous countries for press freedom. There are not laws that protect the reporters now, and for years it's been like that. So I don't really see a future in it getting better because since 2000, there's been 150 journalists that have been killed. Now, in the 2024 Press Freedom Index report from Reporters Without Borders, Mexico is ranked at 121 out of 180. And we can say that the internet is still readily available for these reporters. However, the government is trying to figure out ways in order to regulate social media platforms so that certain information cannot get out. The whole thing here is that they want to regain control. They want to control the story. They want to be able to manufacture it in the way that they want others to see it. Sometimes governments have that to where they are trying to paint a picture as if everything is okay, even though it's not. There's also a point in this where there are activists and investigative journalists that are still being targeted by spyware. So it is very much dangerous. It is very much happening today still.
So our discussion page, reporters are endangered. They face a lot of consequences and possible punishments, ranging from assassination attempts, actually being killed, prison, and different kinds of consequences for attempting to speak the truth and attempting to be the voice of the people, which then leads us to our questions of how do we protect reporters and how do we make citizens feel safe to voice their opinions. This can be done in different ways. Sometimes people will speak around an issue without exactly touching on the issue, or they'll speak in code on the internet or try and start social media change and get outside help. But we still have a long way to go to improve and get rid of censorship worldwide.
I can say, as far as our conclusion, that censorship it makes people be quiet. They want us to be quiet. They want everyone to be quiet. And this is not just a local issue, but this is a global issue. It can happen in many forms, as we've mentioned, death threats. Well, even from death threats, they can even just kill you if they feel like it. But they don't want information to get out. They don't want you to share your opinions on certain things. So citizens are yet still readily trying to find ways around it. However, this is an issue, and if laws are still the same, what's going to happen is it's just going to get worse.
And these are our references, and thank you very much for listening and watching our presentation, and we look forward to your comments in the future.